Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. Baby, I've got your number, and I know that you got mine. You know that I called you. I called too many times. You got to call me, baby. You can call me anytime. You got to call me. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here. Oh, I'll turn right back around. Said I don't want to leave you lonely. You better make me change my mind.
Woo! Holy hell. Well done, Adam.
Thank you,
Fucking
sir.
fantastic job. Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. As you can see there out in the comments, Adam did post, Mary Beth is the first double champ here, getting the double win there. I think so. It was bound to happen. It's just a matter of time when and if where it took place.
Gotta keep voting.
Congratulations, MB.
Who's out there?
She had walked this way prior to this, so she's picking some good ones. Thankfully.
Yeah. Not a bad tune yet. No, I'm liking it. At least.
Start calling you Adam Chapman.
You know, I almost put my name as Adam Chapman when I came in here. I rushed in. I was like, damn it, I didn't have time. Fuck it.
Let's see who's out there. Raven Shadow Vapes is out there. Addie Tooney's in the house. And coming in hot with all the advocacy links. Thank you, Addie Tooney.
There we go.
Love it. Devo's out there. Rihanna.
Lumi does have the details, Addie Tooney. My Lord Pasture.
Jerry Pastrick's out there. Great One Batsky.
Lando.
Philip Putt Wheeler's out there. Look at that. Dimlin's in the house. Joel Raymond.
Dimlin? What up, Dimlin, man? Joel. Well, the thing is, I don't think Mary Beth will hear that song until the morning.
Yeah, probably not. That's all right.
That's his replays. Well, she'll have a nice surprise, like on the drive to work.
That's it. Nobody should probably tell her. Just let her.
I was going to, but I'm not going to. Yeah.
Just let her.
Wait to hear from her.
Yeah. Wait to see what she says. Last time, I did see her put something directly in the comments in the Music Time with Goldie there on the Facebook page, so that was fantastic to see.
Shows us that you're just gonna get your message in the morning. Ermagerd.
What's happening, church? Mr. Capozzi. Oh, look, there's a meter out there. And Bob Ellis. Yeah.
Oh, watch it.
People are coming out in droves today.
Azarath Medrium Zintos.
That's it. Oh, figure. Get right down to my thoughts on advocacy today. I said, I've been kind of shying away from talking about all the stuff we can find all over the news because anybody can find that, and anytime there is something in the news, everybody posts it. So, I decided to stay away from that until someone specifically requests that I do it. Nobody's actually made any requests for me for anything to talk about starting on a show. So, we're going with tonight's title of the show, Be Honest. When it comes to advocacy, we need to be honest. And by that I mean, if you're not sure, don't say some bullshit that you don't know. If somebody asks you a question, you're positive of the answer, tell them, I don't know, but I will get back to you. I will look that shit up, I will figure it out, and I will let you know. Also, if somebody is giving you a hard time about it, be honest with them. Um, Whatever blah 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 negative connotation, vaping you negative connotation, be honest to them. Honestly, I feel a lot better because I vape. Honestly, this is taking place.
That's how I roll.
Honestly, it's gotten me off of cigarettes. And honestly, I don't give a fuck what you think about what I'm doing. Uh, so, just a little thing there. So, if you do know the answers to questions and you do know where to cite scientific research, by all means, be honest and tell them where to find those things. That's a good way to advocate. Don't blow smoke up people's asses. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do the community at large any good. If you don't know the answers, then look, I don't know, but I will find out because I do know somebody that does. There's plenty of us on the panel. There are plenty of you out there. We all have different social medias, whether it be Facebooks, Instagrams, whatever the case may be. There's ways to get a hold of everybody. You have a question for us? Ask us. You have a question for your friend that knows? Ask them. Get back to said person. But in all seriousness, just be honest in whatever you're doing as far as that's concerned. There's no reason to have any bullshit out there. Don't spread the rumors. Don't spread the gossip, because that's not honesty. That's all hearsay bullshit. So, be honest in what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. Not a whole lot to it this week. But, figured, with all the shit that we see going down, and we need to start being honest with each other. Now, that does bring up another good point. With this, if you have some sort of issues with something or someone or anything like that, that it could harm our community as a whole, keep that shit to yourself and do it in fucking private. Because you know what? If it's going to harm the community, you are honestly not fucking helping. I don't care who you are. Be the goddamn Pope for all I give a shit. If it's something that can harm the community as a whole, manage that shit in private. This all falls into that same wonderful sentence. If we don't band together, we will be banned together. And guess what? If you're honestly throwing somebody in front of a bus or something in front of a bus or some portion of vaping you don't like in front of the bus, you're throwing the entire community under the bus. Not one person, not one company, the entire fucking community. So we honestly need to pull our heads out of our fourth point of contact, aka your fucking ass, and work together and be honest in advocating. Please, do your part. Educate what you know. Don't blow some shit that you thought you heard once, but you're not positive about. Only put out information that you know for sure. Because if you give somebody some false bullshit and they find out later on, that does not look good as a whole. So, please, by all means, advocate. By all means, educate people. By all means, tell people what vaping has done for you, how it's changed your life for the better. But do not, by any means, lie and think people aren't going to find out. Anybody with half a fucking brain can go out and look for the research and find if you bullshitted them. So, do us all a favor. Just be honest. Okay? Other than that, I got nothing else for you. Does anybody else want to comment on the whole idea of being honest with advocating?
I do. I was confronted with a situation last week after the show when I went to karaoke where some girl was thanking me and praising me for my song that I did. Oh my God, that was so good. And I was like, thank you. And she's like, how can you sing when you are vaping that thing all night? Like, how can you do that? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, isn't it like cigarettes? And I was like, oh, sweetie, we need to sit down and have a little chit chat. And I basically just explained it to her, that I smoked for 20 years and I was starting to feel it and starting to lack endurance and stamina on stage, and in my voice. And it would just go after 3 or 4 songs. And, and ever since I've been vaping and not smoking cigarettes, it's been just nothing but positive, and she was just like, wow, that's really cool. I want my dad to stop smoking. He's a really great singer too, and I was like, well, just here's me on Facebook. If you ever need information, if you ever need, the facts, like I was like, don't believe the news. Don't believe everything you hear on the news. If you ever need to know the truth, you need some help getting him into something, just hit me up. And then I saw a couple of a younger couple, they were there, and he had the dude had a box mod with a tank and the girl had a Juul. And I had struck up a conversation with them and was like, hey, how long have you guys been vaping? She was just new, and he had been vaping for a year, and he smoked for like 5 or 6 years. And he said, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. They were like 22. So it was pretty cool.
So I'm sharing this for Dimlin. Drama llamas.
Oh.
There you go, Dimlin. There's your drama llama.
So I had one. It wasn't quite in the same venue as Adam's. I didn't have anybody particularly going after the vaping aspect of it, but I was talking with one of my coworkers one night about some of the legislation that the FDA has been trying to put out, and that subsequently all the localized flavor bans that have been trying to be pushed through. And another coworker who has no interest in vaping, never smoked, doesn't give a shit. They're just one of those litigious assholes who has to constantly upquote you on how legal proceedings are supposed to go and shit like that. Started to try and bust my balls about talking about some of the legislations. And I realized that it was because he was only hearing bits and pieces of it. And when he got closer and started to try and be an asshole about it, he realized that when I was talking about the legislation and the way that these laws are being phrased to try and kind of catch 22 people and shit, that I was making a point to use the words, and I quote, to the best of my knowledge. And when he realized that anytime I wasn't directly showing them something from the source on my phone, but I was talking about it, I would use the phrase, to the best of my knowledge. You could see him get ready to get that litigious asshole jump, and then he would hear those words and he kind of had to like wither down a little bit, and like the balloon deflated a little bit. So it's not always, I've found, about just having all the answers. It's about how you conveyed those answers, because sometimes you don't have to say everything word for word, so long as you can summarize and enunciate the fact that you're summarizing or paraphrasing something. And it tends to make it a little more palatable, even to litigious assholes, apparently. So you never know.
Well, there are some of those people out there.
I talked about the guy I think I talked about it last week. The guy, I was sitting out on the bench and the guy comes up and sits down next to me and starts lighting up his cigarette. And he's like, said something about smoking, and I was like, oh dude, I vape. And he's like, same thing. I was like, no, it's not. And I wound up having a pretty decent conversation with the guy, but he was quoting, the antifreeze thing. And I mean, propylene glycol does have antifreeze properties. So technically he's right. Technically. Because it does lower the freezing point of water. So that's the reason it gets added to like fruits and vegetables and things like that. Keeps them a little fresher. But once we got past that, and I started, talking about, what's going on in public health England and how it had affected my health, his attitude towards the whole thing kind of changed. And so you could see maybe I'd planted a seed in his head, in his brain. I'd planted a vaping seed in there. And he'd certainly be a healthier individual if he wasn't smoking. I think he said he was like 2 packs a day. Damn, dude. So, it's all about, if the conversation's not going quite the way you like it, put it on to the positive points in your life, because there's no room for the person to disagree about that, because these are the things that happen to you. So you can always use yourself as an example, and don't be scared to use yourself as an example. You are your own best evidence. So, if you're, like I can show people pictures of what I used to look like and how much weight I've lost. Like Lumi got a big surprise tonight. She was going back and looking at the first episode she was on versus now. And if you go back and watch my videos and where I started, you can see how much I've dropped. And like I said, I'm my own best evidence about what vaping can do. So that's what I got.
Oh, yeah. A little about honesty being the best policy. There you go. So, now you guys understand the whole concept of the name of tonight's episode. Just all about being honest, whether it's about yourself or about stuff you already know, or that you know but you just don't know the exact words to. We'll add that in there as well for meter's sake here. To the best of my knowledge, for meter's sake. Yeah, I see there's a couple other people popped in here while we were chatting away. I see Chevy Man popped in. Mr. Kite is out in the audience.
Robert Kite.
Looks like there's a Paul.
Oi, Paul. Oi.
Oh yeah, everybody jumped.
Actually, I've been chatting a lot with Paul. He's going to be coming on one of the DIY shows.
Nice.
Cause that boy's got himself a nice new job. So.
I just want to make sure, due to recent events of the last couple Tuesday episodes, make sure you get him under contract.
It's not just Tuesdays; it's Fridays. It's anytime I run a show. Saturdays, like I have a plan. I'm gonna get somebody on, and they wind up doing something else, getting sick, having personal shit come up. But we do have Robbie. Under. He swears up and down. This next Tuesday. It's gonna be Robbie Vapes back again.
Please tell me he's gonna introduce the show like that.
Oh, he better.
I'm the one that chases them all away fresh. I know it.
They're scared of super buff Lumi.
I think this is a perfect opportunity here to be back on that theme of honest. To the best of my knowledge, Robbie will be here for the next episode.
True. To the best of my knowledge, Robbie Vapes will be on Tuesday.
They're afraid I'm going to verbally abuse them. I don't know if they're afraid of my lack of muscles.
Drag your vocabulary across your couch.
What's everybody got going on this week? How's everybody doing so far? How's their week's been?
Busy.
I've created some cool new resin.
Let's see.
Show that galaxy board you made.
That's what I'm going to do.
Thing is sick.
So I've been wanting to experiment with galaxy stuff because Socrates the cab driver is constantly posting stuff from NASA. So I made this.
Oh wow.
And I'm going to put 4 or 5 10s going through it, so it's going to be like a little platform stand. And then I made 2 skulls with the galaxy theme in them.
Nice.
It's got little stars and floating glitter inside of them.
Shoot.
Fuck. Stepping up the game over there.
I've been having so much fun.
Lumi Industries is taking off.
That's
It is.
half the battle right there is having fun with it. Because when you're having fun with it, you're making better products.
Damn right.
Should we call like the name of her business? Should we call it like Loomy Things? Loomy Things, party time, excellent.
Just keep the word vape out of it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Loomy Things.
Yeah, for sure.
Dimlin, if I could get Megan Rapinoe on a show, I would certainly invite you, and then I think everybody on the panel would pretty much just fangirl the fuck out for the entire episode. Like how come you're like the best?
Who?
Megan, you don't know who Megan Rapinoe is? All right, Lumi.
Oh, some people's children.
Oh, great times. Great times.
Hey. Oh, fucking sweet baby Jesus. You know, there's some times where I'm wondering, why do I not put you in a timeout room when shit like that comes out of your mouth?
Lumi, there you go.
There you go. Look it up. Go.
I'm fondling my skull still.
Well, fondle your skulls and start reading Wikipedia.
I don't want to read Wikipedia.
Yes, you do. You could learn about Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah. Get yourself edumacated a little bit, you know.
She
Like,
appears.
why are you the best current women's soccer player? Why? Why are you so damn cool fighting for your own equal rights and stuff?
Oh, I'm not team feminism over here. Just forewarning.
Well, it isn't really about feminism. Like
No.
it's the fact that so like we can go ahead and bring this up. This is the subject we're talking about. Like equal rights isn't it guaranteed by law now? Pretty sure. I know the law was about to lapse and it managed to get itself back up, but
See, now I have the belief that equal white rights is already mostly a possibility if you're willing to work for equal pay. Like comedians, for example. A lot of them bitch about not getting a lot of money, but they don't make nearly as many tours and then bitch about it. Put in the work and you'll have equal money. There you go.
I'm so confused. I'll be mixing over here.
La 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 la.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's one way to look at it, but no, on the other side, I can see where the other side of it comes from, too. Doing the same job should be getting the equal amount of pay. I get that. However, you have to do that job equally as well as your counterpart. That's the other catch to that, in order to qualify for that equal pay.
And then I also think men really kind of get shafted in this whole thing. A lot of men can't do a lot of things that women can, and they get judged for it and ridiculed. They can't get certain types of jobs. So, I don't know.
well, my point about what she had to take that call. Yeah, the point about the Megan Rapinoe and pretty much all the women's U.S. soccer team is getting at is they go out to these World Cups and they win. They go to the women. They go to the World Cups and they win. The men's U.S. soccer team has never advanced past the quarters. I think it's the quarters. I think it's as far as they've ever gotten, the quarterfinals. So you've got a team that is successful. Let's call it 80% of the time. The women's U.S. soccer team is successful in winning the World Cup 80% of the time. Like they are that good, and they're that much better than anybody else. So why are they getting paid a quarter of what the men are when they're going out and doing a much better job?
Yeah, like
You're
stuff like
going out,
that.
going
I
out and fighting the
completely
world.
understand. I just don't like it when like
Good.
actors and comedians bitch about that kind of stuff, but then don't want to do the work. Like that's my point of it. Like if you're not willing to do the work, then I don't think you deserve it. But if
So,
you're actually doing the work, you by all means.
I mean, what's the pay difference between the highest paid actor and the highest paid actress in the world? Anybody want to work their Google foo?
I'm not in Google food mode. Anybody else in the
I'll do
comments
it.
feels for it? Feel for it. Go for it. I do
I'll do
not
it.
know the answer to that one.
But different actors are willing to put in different amounts of training for their film and go to different lengths.
I mean, that goes both ways. Men and women both do that.
Yep.
There we go. Highest paid actor versus actress. When was that? That was in 2018? That doesn't seem right. Okay.
Is it quiet as in you can barely hear us, or is it just quiet as in not a lot of people are talking because it's kind of a sensitive subject here, Greg?
Yeah, I don't think it's a subject that should be brought up very often.
No, but I mean, it's worth talking about. That George Clooney is the highest paid actor in the world currently.
Wow.
He pulled down 239 million. Scarlett Johansson is the highest paid actress, and she pulled down 186 million. So, I mean, they're both. I would say, let's say they're doing equivalent movies. I mean, old Clune Dog, he doesn't really do blockbusters, so. But his movies always do pretty darn well. And Scarlett Johansson does blockbusters, but she also does some very, very thought-provoking pieces, we'll call them.
Definitely.
Yeah, and she's absolutely fantastic. I agree. She's one of the most talented actresses in the world right now. So, yeah, but she's well. I mean, she's less than 100 million away from him, but I mean that we're talking 100 million dollars.
Yeah. Although when you got that kind of money, that's to me that just seems like fucking.
But I mean, who's the bigger draw? Who's the bigger draw out of the two?
It depends on who the person you ask.
It depends on the role. Yeah, it really depends on the role.
Yeah. Are you gonna say? Am I more inclined to watch a George Clooney flick or a Scarlett Johansson flick? It's gonna depend on the movie.
Adam made himself clear there. Cough.
Don't get me wrong. I will say I'm more apt to go and watch something with Scarlett Johansson than I am George Clooney. Purely on the male chauvinist side of things. She's fucking gorgeous. I'll say it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Have you ever heard her sing? She's a pretty darn good singer, too.
Well, that, I mean, she's the Black Widow, so.
Yeah. True.
Oh, yeah.
And she's getting a standalone movie, which is fucking fantastically overdue.
I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how they see, because I know they said she's going to be back in the MCU, so I'm really interested to see how they did that.
Phase 4. Phase 4. Although, if you're Ryan Reynolds, you're talking about Phase 5, in case anybody missed that.
That was hilarious.
With his little fucking board of yarn.
Little strings and his wife's
shit.
on there, and Stanley's on there. Yeah, I think we should talk. Nobody's talked about the comic book movies that got announced.
Yeah,
Nobody's talking about them.
There's a bunch of
Any of these shows, we should talk about them.
What's fun? You know what's really funny? DC didn't even show up to Comic-Con. for any release.
They were there,
But-
and they were very quiet.
Yeah, they didn't say shit. Makes me wonder.
I mean, their movies are a mess, quite frankly. Like they've got a couple good ones. They've got Wonder Woman. They figured out Wonder Woman. They figured out Aquaman. Aquaman was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. That was a fantastic movie.
Yeah. What was that last one? Was it Justice League? Justice League was the last big group one, right? I think it was. And it was, you could tell where Joss Whedon had put his fingers in, and it was a hell of a lot better than Batman versus Superman. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it was a step in the right direction. But I mean, after Justice League, Wonder Woman was before Justice League. Yes. So Wonder Woman was the first one that they really got right. Aquaman they had gotten right. I think what they need to grasp as far as like DC is don't take yourself so fucking seriously, guys. Like not everything needs to be Christopher Nolan's Batman. Like
Yeah, it's
like as good as those movies were, like there's no room for that with Aquaman. He talks to fucking fish. Have fun with the movie.
Yeah, you have to consider the source. It's a comic book.
Yeah.
yep,
Comic
that's it.
books. Don't
Like if there's
it's reality, you go too far when you try to get too real.
like there's two characters that should be very, very serious. Two of them. Number one, the Punisher.
For sure.
The Punisher should always be serious fucking business.
Yeah.
Number
Rightfully
two,
so.
Batman. Batman solo movies should be serious fucking business. But if he's interacting with anybody else, like they should be having fun at his fucking serious ass.
Yep.
That's what they should be doing. Like everyone should be giving him shit because, like, dude, why are you over there brooding in the corner? Like it's time to save the world. I'm Batman. Shut up, Batman.
Actually, Greg brought up a good movie. I just watched that this weekend. Alita: Battle Angel. That was a fantastic
Alita was
movie.
awesome.
I
Alita
think-
Battle Angel was awesome.
I think they did a fantastic job of leaving it open for that second movie too, which is fantastic.
I mean, there's a shit ton of material for it. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Spork Leafy, you know I did. The Boys on Amazon Prime.
I tried to.
It's at the
Work.
top of my binge queue.
Her husband hijacked it in the middle of the series.
They didn't even tell me where I was because I ended up stopping it in the middle of an episode because he insisted that it was bedtime and he saw me watching it. So I stopped it. He's like, "What were you watching?" I was like, "The show Fresh recommended to me." He's like, "What's it called?" I was like, "That or The Boys." And so he searches it. Next day, turns out he actually downloaded the app on his phone, reset it, and started watching it from the start.
Do you remember what was happening when you went to bed, Lumi?
I found the spot already. It's just I'm running out of prime time, so it's a matter of will I be able to finish it.
Stay up all night.
I do that anyways.
I watched it in almost all one shot. Almost. It was a 2-shot. But it was
Please
great.
don't ruin it for me. I haven't seen it yet. Oh,
Ooh, good question, KBN. Heath Ledger Joker or Jack Nicholson Joker?
Yes,
What about Caesar
Right.
Romero? What about Caesar Romero Joker?
exactly.
Right?
Different Joker for different situations.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Different Jokers for different eras. Like I didn't even mind Jared Leto's Joker.
Exactly. Unlike
Yeah.
Batman, the Jokers work in different phases for different movies.
And they
Yeah.
all were really like appropriately casted for each incarnation. Like Caesar Romero was just a good goofy Joker for that campy ass show. Jack Nicholson was a serious actor for like the first serious, interpretation of Batman, and it was great. And then for the dark, twisted one, you got fucking Heath Ledger, who basically became him.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all worked like really well.
And that's the wonderful thing is I think people try to go and they look at all these characters. They have different set timelines and different universes
Yeah,
that
exactly.
they're in. So each incarnation is a little bit different. So it's hard to judge one against another when they have their own set role in each individual universe that they're within or timeline. How
Yeah.
does that work?
I mean, that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing that the DC cinematic movies could do. I mean, they could play up their multiverse that they've got in the DC comics, and they could do whatever the fuck they wanted with whatever characters whenever. Like, it would just be, just have fun with the movies. Let the directors and the writers tell the story that they want to tell, as long as they're not getting too far out of line from what's out there, or even if they are, if the story's worth telling, let them do it. But I think they're kind of catching on. Like the Aquaman movie was really, really nice. I think they learned their lesson from Wonder Woman. I think they learned their lesson from the failures that they've had. Because quite frankly, I mean, the movies have made their budget back, but just barely.
Mhm.
So you can't really call them bombs, but you can't really call them successes like Marvel's are. Like every single movie that Marvel's going to put out from now on is going to go over $1 billion. Like, that's just how it's going to be until they put out a series of bombs, which I seriously doubt with the way Marvel Studios is run. I doubt that they'll ever do that. They might put out a stinker, but the next movie's going to fully recover because it's going to be a known property, and they're going to if they see that we bombed one, all right, we got to come back hard, and so they'll come back on the next movie.
Especially with Feige at the helm, he's not going to let those movies drag.
No,
Feige's
not at all.
created Marvel to be, well, I shouldn't say created Marvel to be, but he's built Marvel to a point to where they are almost the inverse of DC, whereas Marvel almost can't really make a bad movie at this point. It's their TV shows that are flopping, like Runaways and Cloak and Dagger and shit like that just was bad and should have just been kept to little one-shots or something. Whereas you look at DC and The Flash and Green Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, those TV shows are fucking spectacular. And then you look at their movies, and with the exception of like Wonder Woman and Wet Thor and those other couple, they've been
Oh,
Wet Thor. I like that.
well
I really
done.
enjoyed the whole DC universe until, like, movie-wise, until the end of Batman, where they brought Bane in. And I was kind of like, ever since then, every time I've watched a DC movie, I've kind of just been disappointed. Wonder Woman was decent. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was going to be their comeback until I saw the movie that came out after that, and I was like, never mind.
That was Justice League. Well, Justice League, like I said, it had several very funny moments that I don't think Ben Affleck was the right. I don't think Ben Affleck was the right choice to be Batman.
Ironically, though, I think the script that they had for him worked pretty well. His one-liners were really pretty good. The whole "I'm rich" shit was like magnifique. Like his interaction with fucking before they actually show him as the Flash. What's his name? Ezra.
Yeah. Can I keep that?
Yeah, their interactions were fucking great. I think it was just a bit too Affleck-y.
Yeah. Are you telling me you're just a guy in a bat suit?
Just
it was funny. It was, they had some moments, but I mean, if we're calling Aquaman Wet Thor, I mean, we can call Green Arrow, like
Batman Light.
Batman with a bow, yeah. Fighting the League of Assassins and Raj Al Ghul, like, dude, that's Batman's turf. What's going on with that?
What drove me insane was the fact that you grow to know some of the DC TV shows, and then they come up with a movie, and they can't be bothered to be like, hey, let's put a season on like a couple weeks hold and get them into this movie where it will convert people into it. Instead, they're just like, let's just cast new people and fuck all the people you've known and loved that you've been watching play these roles.
Well, I mean, that's what I was kind of talking about, though, Louis, is DC Comics is built around a multiverse.
Yep.
And so, the characters cross over between the different universes, but each character has their own, different universe that they're in. And they could really play that and tell a whole lot of really interesting stories. So that's, with different actors and different directors, they never have to cast the same person twice if they didn't want to, as long as the story was worth telling.
I get very attached to the people that I grow to watch, and then once they just move them, I get pissy. Kind of like Punisher.
Punisher, I mean, there's a good chance in 2 years Get a
Nope.
chance in 2 years. He's like meant for Hulu. Meant for Hulu.
Marvel, the
No.
MCU already talked about doing them, but with different casts.
Well, I know they already said they were talking about bringing Luke Cage back. They've already started talking about that.
But all
So,
of it was with different casts. That's the only thing that pissed me off.
I mean, they've been open to bringing back actors too. So, I mean, the conversation's gone both ways. I mean, it's Kevin Feige keeping the doors open for anything that he feels like doing, essentially. But, I mean, I think they'd be foolish not to bring back, at least Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, because all three of those series were fairly successful over on Netflix.
Punisher.
I mean, Punisher was very successful for what it was.
Yep.
I mean, it was a Punisher story. Both seasons were definite Punisher stories. So,
And they did fantastic justice for it too.
yeah. Anybody see Spider-Man: Far From Home?
Not yet.
Yeah,
No.
I
It's
want
over.
to.
It's over $1 billion. It's amazing. Like I said, it's my. I put it as my number 3 favorite Marvel movie now.
Nice. Spider-Man was my favorite growing up. Like, I had a subscription to Amazing Spider-Man comic. I got it every month in the mail. So I'd
Mhm.
have like a run of like, I don't know, like 100 issues, like just straight through. And that was during the time when there was Carnage in the comics. So I have all those first prints still, which is great. And those are good stories back then, good art.
Oh, the problem with comic books from the 90s is that it was a very collector's market.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They produced a whole lot of them.
Yeah, too many. They're not rare.
No, they're not at all. There's only a few that are actually from the 90s that are actually worth a damn.
Yep.
Venom, the actual first issue of Venom when he left New York City, went to San Francisco, it was like just a black cover with like the Venom eyes on it.
Yeah, it's Amazing Spider-Man number 290 something or 300.
Yeah, it's the first issue of the Venom comic.
Oh, his own.
When he got his own comic. Yeah, that's worth a pretty good chunk. The original
Might have that.
the original Deadpool miniseries.
Yeah.
Which actually wasn't very funny compared to what he turned into. The original Deadpool series is worth something. New Mutants '98 is worth a lot.
I have that.
So me too. That's worth a pretty chunk of change. That first appearance of Deadpool is always going to be worth some
I
money.
bought all those off the rack, all those New Mutants like that from like 90 till the end. I have them all still.
Yeah, I bought them. I had a comic book shop that was, I think it was like 1.5 miles. I had to hoof it over there to get my stuff and hoof it back.
Yeah, mine was about 6 blocks away. My local comic book store in like the early 90s, and then that didn't last. It kind of died off. It'd be cool now because it's that stuff, geek culture is kind of cool again. It wasn't cool,
but everybody reads graphic novels. That's where the culture's at now. Like they don't want to buy individual issues; they want to buy the graphic novels. So, like the actual Marvel comics. I mean, they're still making money, but not nearly the money that they probably should be making. Same thing with DC. Like DC's not making much money.
Graphic novels are like the equivalent of like Netflix, where you can binge a whole storyline, at your leisure, which is cool.
Exactly. Like I mean, once my favorite comic book shop shut down, like I just went, like, if something sounds interesting, I'll go buy the graphic novel when the story completes. And I guess I'm falling into, I guess I'm killing the local comic shop industry too, but it is what it is. Like retail shops are they're coughing and sputtering their way out. It's just how it's going to be.
Well, that's just like any other business. The retail shops are losing ground quicker than they can make it.
Yeah.
Because you can do everything online now. That's the kicker.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think there'll always be like Lowe's, Home Depots, that sort of thing, where you can go get stuff that you immediately need. Grocery stores are always going to be around, but all the little mom and pop specialty stores, and I mean even like the Walmarts here in the near future. Like it'll be online. You'll order it and go pick it up later that day.
Oh yeah, that's the new big thing. Hell, shit. Some people
delivered by drone deliveries. Everybody.
Half the time, there's a lot of people here just in the city I live in. they don't even go to the grocery store because they have fucking apps for that where you order your groceries and some fucking asshole will go to that grocery store, take your shopping list, get everything verbatim, and then drop it off at your house.
Yep. Yeah, the Safeways around here are delivering. The prices actually aren't that outrageous. I mean, some of the stuff, like, unless it's on sale, it's like, okay, dude, I'm not paying that. I'll just bicycle down to the Safeway.
Mhm.
But I mean, they're delivering, so.
Crazy thing how that's all gone, you know. It's like that. But there's, I saw something today and I just laughed because it was like, there was a ton of irony in it. Where you look back prior to people having access to the internet and things like Google and things like that, they thought the massive amount of stupidity and idiocracy was due to the lack of being able to have a good resource.
Mm-hmm.
You have the greatest fucking resource in the world, and we still have that. I don't think it was the problem.
No.
And now, because everybody can do everything online, they have no yearning to have face-to-face contact with anybody or actually learn how to interact with other human beings.
I mean, look at the majority of people under 30. I mean, they prefer texting rather than actually calling each other.
Oh,
They would
yeah.
rather type it. They would rather type. I mean, I've kind of gotten into the habit just because of the people I talk to.
Oh, most of them they fucking text faster than they fucking talk.
Well, the little thing where you just run your finger around to the letter that you're looking for and it draws little lines and then the word pops up for it. You can text really quick with that.
I didn't get these skills with my phone. I'm like the worst texter ever.
Don't get me wrong, I hate talking on the phone, but that's because that's what I do all fucking day long for my job. So now when I'm done fucking working, I don't want to talk. To be honest, that they're doing this on a Wednesday night, halfway through the week. I'm already over fucking talking for the week. But I enjoy hanging out with everybody, so that's why I come out and hang out. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking do this because I don't want to sit and chat all the time. No, there are a few exceptions to things. Like, I will gladly talk about some things that I want to talk about or I'm excited to talk about. Like, I fucking love doing the I'm No Joe podcast with Meter over there. I fucking absolutely love MMA. And so that's one of those things that, yes, let's fucking go. Which I'm sure there's going to be a new episode this week. Yeah, get myself sidetracked there. But, I can understand the whole text thing. How over that?
What up, Mox?
We have a Mox in the house.
Moxry.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic week of seeing all the nonsensicalness that is going on and the lack, just complete lack of. I think for better term, lack of people actually wanting to go out and do their own research.
I mean, you don't need to if you got your phone. Your research is in your palm.
Yeah.
Unless your phone freezes every 3 seconds and shuts down on you.
Man, Lumi's really pushing hard for a new phone, isn't she?
Jesus. You need to talk to that husband of yours and tell him, hey, is my phone off a contract yet? Is it time for me to upgrade or what?
Oh, well, my phone's already paid for. It's just a matter of when we upgrade it.
Shit. Mine's been paid for like 2 years and I ain't upgrading that motherfucker until it falls apart.
That's my thought process.
I just bought into the new contract.
I might not be able to do all the fun stuff that everybody else can do on their phone, but I can still pick it up and dial 911 or make a grocery list on it to send to my husband. So
I'm all about this. It's paid off. I don't give a shit what I can do on it. Does it call people? Does it have the ability to text somebody like my brother who refuses to talk on the phone? If so, yes, it's good. That, and I also refuse to have to continually pay the fucking goddamn phone carriers a monthly installment fee because nobody does the here's $200 and your phone's paid off anymore because they're a bunch of money grubbing cocksuckers.
That sucks. I love that option where you went in, you paid like $300, the phone was yours, and you just renewed whatever your subscription was.
Yeah.
It was great.
Changed your plan if you wanted to, and that was it.
The nice thing about being with Sprint as long as I have, like now that like Sprint is at the bottom of the heap as far as carriers, like they are so willing to bend over backwards to keep you. So like I got like my bill has gone down so much over the last couple of contracts because they're always lowering prices because they have to get new people and to keep the people that they have. It's like Verizon's right over there and they got the same phone. I wonder if they're offering a better deal. They're just like, no, let's talk. Pretty soon they're going to merge with T-Mobile. Fingers crossed, and then I'll have a mobile network that works everywhere.
That merger got approved.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I saw that in the news the other day.
Okay. Well, now that that's approved, then I'll have supposedly 5G by like the end of the year, and then I can, when I go on trips, I can use the T-Mobile network, which is very nearly as big as the Verizon network. So, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. I just had to stick with my underdogs. That's all it was. Just sticking with my underdogs. Because they had a plan. Like my plan is like $40 unlimited, everything.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
Like I said, they over the last couple of contracts, like they've just been like, oh, that's too much. Like we have this plan over here that's also unlimited everything. Well, why didn't you tell me about that one at the fucking start, dude?
Because we want an extra $20 out of you, brother.
Exactly. We want that extra $20 a month. Yeah. So I mean, it's all good.
I mean, to be fair, Joe Pesci said it a long time ago, and people just didn't listen. They fuck you with the cell phones.
Was that Lethal Weapon 2 or 3? 2.
To be fair, when that movie came out, cell phones were the size of a car.
Right.
You had to have a fucking backpack to carry those motherfuckers. Well, shit, I think when that came out, that may have still been the old bag phones that you plugged into the car, fucking cigarette lighter to power on.
Yep.
Had to be wired directly to the battery.
That was before the Zach Morris phone, Saved by the Bell. He had like a big ass Motorola gray.
Oh,
Giant.
yeah, big old fucking brake. Just throw that some bitch through a car windshield if you wanted to.
You had to be careful driving. That's what happened. You hit the brakes too fast. That fucker's going through the rear window.
my friend Joey in grade school, his dad was always like hip to new technology, and he had one of those giant phones, and he was the first person I knew who had AOL, and like it was like the cool house to hang out. Like, hey, let's use my dad's cell phone. Like, what's that?
This is what you don't know is he only had like 150 minutes.
Yeah, right.
For
That
the
would have been
entire
like
month.
1991, probably.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
If you went anywhere outside of your city, no service.
I remember running around with my brother's pager, waiting to sneak him out at night.
Pagers.
And he was paying like $50 a month as a kid in high school for that shit.
Oh
Those things were
yeah.
expensive as fuck back in the day. They were way more expensive than the cell phone plans are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a pager plan now for like $1.99 a month because doctors still use them.
Oh yeah. Fuck! I remember when we were at Fort Park, I had a
They're
pager.
actually getting rid of that now.
Are they?
Yeah, because they've got little.
Makes sense.
They've got like these little things that look kind of like. They look like the little hearing aid connectors, which look like little necklaces. I'm not sure if anybody's ever seen an old person wearing it looks like a little piece of plastic hanging off a necklace. That's a hearing aid connector. But they have something like that clips on wherever they need it to, and basically you can push a button and talk to that person. So you can like go, these are the people that are connected to this, and you go through your options and then you hit the button, and that's how you page people now. in the hospitals. And then when they're off duty, they just take it at home. And as long as they're around a Wi-Fi network, it just picks it right up. Like, dude, come on in. Fuck no, I'm sleeping. No, you're not. We can hear you.
I remember as recently as when I was in Fort Polk, the radiology department there for the night shift had a fucking pager.
Yep.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you couldn't just give us a group cell phone that stayed in the department that they just called? No. Pager.
Nope, pager.
Beep, beep, beep,
I mean, to be fair, the Army was probably paying like $1 per pager and then like a cent per page. So
yeah. Oh, ridiculous.
At that point, but yeah, I mean, they've pretty much gotten rid of that. They've gotten rid of a lot, like the on-call pagers and things like that, for more modern technology in the hospitals.
Good.
So like even where I'm working now, now that I'm out of because the place I was before was one of the leading tech hospitals as far as all that goes. So we were always getting experimented on, which sucked. Because they would drop the new program that they're thinking about giving to everybody else on us to see what would happen. So it's kind of nice being out of that, but now you get to watch the trickle down. Like, oh shit, that's coming. Like I was working with that like a year ago. Like that's bad. It's bad news, everybody. It's bad.
It's gonna be fantastic. No, it's really not. You don't know.
Later, Giz, go soak that luxurious hair of yours. And I hope your head feels better, brother.
Later, bro. Pagers, Jesus Christ, man! Remember when I had one? I think I had one the first time I had a pager. I think I was 10 years old, and it was the clear jailhouse plastic, so you could see the internals. I thought I was hot shit with that motherfucker. Had a time, so I didn't wear a watch anymore. I was like, oh, fuck a watch. We don't need that.
What time is it?
When you're 10, the only person that needs to get a hold of you is your mom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not very cool, right?
No idea why I had a pager at that age.
Because it was a status symbol.
Yeah, I think that was it.
It's like Reebok pumps.
Oh, the Reebok pumps.
I had Reebok pumps.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Jordache had some pumps too.
They sure did.
Oh,
I had the Jordache pumps.
that makes
I wasn't
me
in a affluent enough family to have
Oh,
the.
shit. I saved like birthday money and Christmas money because I wanted them so bad because I wanted to be cool.
Speaking of the pumps, I was at the beginning of the week. For those of you who don't know or don't watch Nat Geo, Shark Week or Discovery Shark Week right now. I fucking love Shark Week.
It's sharp.
Before the last show they played before Shark Week actually started this week was Shaq's show from Shark Week last year. And they were trying to get him to go swimming with sharks. So they're coming up with all these ways to get a flipper that'll fucking fit his big ass feet.
Yeah.
So you see him, they fucking glued some fins to the bottom of a basketball shoe, and you see him reach down. They're fucking Reebok pumps.
Of course they were. Because Shaq
Get
was
the
all
fuck
about
out.
them pumps.
Oh.
I believe Shaq wears like a 20-something shoe.
It's like-
For some reason, I remember this Jeopardy fact. It's like 22 or 23. It's like,
I think it was a 22E.
that's insane.
So yeah, it was a 22 extra wide. Because
Jeez.
you would go into shoe stores and they would have Shaq's shoes sitting there, and the fucking thing was like that.
Oh, it looked like a fucking tank. You're like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
that?
Like that's legitimately his shoe size. Holy shit. My sister saw him walking down the street in Chicago and said he was the biggest human being she'd ever seen.
I remember,
7'7", right?
Shaq was right at 7.
yeah, he's a fucking big boy. I remember in 1995, I know the year exactly because I have a fucking autographed basketball from him in 95 when he was scoring champ. He's playing for the Orlando Magic. I went and I watched a game courtside with my dad. Holy fuck. That's a huge bitch.
Yeah.
Because I looked at him going, God damn, he's fucking massive. Like, how the fuck does something that big run? He doesn't really run. He kind of trotted, but you know, at the time he was young.
He's never a runner. He's kind of like Charles Barkley. He just kind of trots.
Don't get me wrong. He when he at that age he was still able to run a little bit, but that's because he was still in his 20s and not feeling the effects of being that goddamn tall. So, but man,
and weighing as much as he does.
Yeah, you're going fuck.
Well, he's still a pretty athletic dude. I mean, he's put on some. Here comes Basie McBaser.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I remember I finally got to see a professional basketball game when I went to AIT down in San Antonio. So I got to go see the Spurs versus the Timberwolves. And that was still when they had David Robinson and Big Fundamentals, Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they had the Twin Towers out there on the court, and it's like, fuck, those are big dudes. Like Robinson was a big dude, and he was ripped. Like he was ripped up, like super buff. It was crazy. I'm like, dude, there's no way you should be that big and that ripped. Like, it's ridiculous. And then TJ remembers the Riverwalk Mall. I was going through the Riverwalk Mall and I found Tom Gugliotta. He was also a huge bitch. I think he was like he was either 6'8" or 6'10". And he was standing there in the Riverwalk Mall looking out over probably the Riverwalk, probably checking out all the Air Force girls like all of us were. And yeah, I walked up to him like, hey, can I have your autograph, Mr. Gugliotta? And he just looked down. He's like, oh. I was like, all right, I'm never your fan ever again, dude.
Well.
Yep. I mean, I get it. You're out in public. You don't want to start anything like that. Like, you don't want to start signing shit because then all of a sudden everybody's going to come over and start standing some shit.
Yeah.
But I remember that Spurs game. We actually got back to the barracks late because we went out the wrong side of the stadium. So the taxis were all the way around the other side of the stadium. And if you remember how big the Alamo Dome is, we had to walk all the way around the outside of the Alamo Dome to get to the other side.
God damn.
Yeah, so we finally got over to where our taxi was and got back, and we got so lucky. There's a group of active duty guys, and they always transfer out the season tickets as people get PCS on, and they bring in a new guy, and they get like 10 courtside seats. And so one of our instructors was one of those guys that has a season ticket courtside seat. And so we got back to the barracks, and we did the right thing. We didn't try and sneak in. We just went straight to the office, and we're like, listen, Sergeant, we know that we're like 20 minutes late. Like we were at the Spurs game. We went out the wrong door. We had to circle all the way around the Alamo Dome to get to the taxi, and that's where the 20 minutes went. Like we were supposed to be back. We were supposed to be back in time to be in bed. And he just stood there for a minute, and he's like, I had tickets for tonight's game. Was it a good one? I was like, it was actually a really good game. Like it didn't look like it was going to be a good game, but the Spurs came back and won. He's like, all right, go to bed. He's like that's it? I didn't get smoked. I'm out, dude.
Like, you had tickets to the game and you're not pissed at me right now? Yeah.
You're not angry. But yeah, I found that out later. Is that's the reason why, is because he had season tickets courtside.
Oh, fuck. He's
a huge Spurs fan. They all had like gray BDUs that they would go and wear and sit courtside.
Oh,
and then they get special attention from the Spurs. So it was really. But that was for my young life at that point, like having really not done a whole lot. Like I'd been across like the northern part of the U.S. and I really hadn't, gone and seen anything, too much further than that. It was just a really cool experience getting to go see like my first game. I always tell everybody, if you get a chance to go see a professional sports game, doesn't matter what it is, go.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the crowds, go see it once.
Yeah.
Go hang out. Buy the overpriced food, hang out. It's an experience worth having.
Yeah.
Especially sporting events that like are nonstop action, like hockey and basketball, like where just the movement never stops. Baseball can be like, I love baseball. I can sit through a game and be perfectly fine, but some people don't like the lack of movement. But yeah, basketball or hockey, like football even.
I mean,
just great to watch live.
football. It depends on what's going on with football. Like
True.
if your team's successful and they have commercial breaks, like that gets boring as fuck. Like
I can imagine.
all the times that I got to go see Seahawks games, like they would give us free tickets or something. I'd go up to see a Seahawks game. I'm like, fuck, like come on, like another commercial break. Like we're sitting still for another 5 minutes and just players stand there on the field like looking around, like waving the water boy over. He comes over and squirts some water in their mouth.
Fortunately, I'm in Chicago, so I don't have to worry about that. The Bears.
No.
No.
I mean, the Bears are going to be on TV a lot this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should, Dimlin. You should go watch Megan play. I think Dimlin's got a crush. I'm just saying.
And it doesn't even matter what professional sport it is. You fucking go to any of them. They're all fantastic in their own right. I've been to baseball games, basketball games, football games, hockey games. I mean, was it early 2000s? Like 2002, between 2002 and 2005, I want to say. Went and I watched Tampa Bay Lightning play. First professional hockey game I'd ever seen was in Tampa Bay. And that was when they were fucking running the show, and it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
That was definitely a cool one that put hockey on my radar as something I need to watch more often. I was already watching it, just not avidly. And so I watch a lot more hockey now because of stuff like that. But there's so many sports out there that are worth it. The one I haven't gotten to go to yet that I would love to is I'd love to go to a professional soccer game.
Yeah, MLS is worth seeing.
Yeah,
MLS. Cool because the fans in MLS are so fucking hardcore, man. It's so awesome.
What I would like to do is I would like to go fucking to Europe and watch a pro game over there. Like in one of those famed cities like fucking Liverpool or fucking Manchester United or something. Just to see that kind of atmosphere. Because I'm sure that's a whole different fucking animal.
Well, you know what we need to do? You know what we all need to do? Is we all need to figure out a good vacation to Greece. And we'll have Socrates take us to AEK games. AEK. Those fuckers are crazy. If you ever watch some of his Instagram videos of what they do in the stadium, like they're setting off road players and just fucking throwing things. And my mom wanted to go see a game in Scotland. I was like, Mom, I would really, really like to have this experience. I have a really, really bad feeling about going to a Scottish football game with you. like these dudes get rowdy and drunk and just like they don't care by the end of it. And there was a game in Edinburgh when we were there. There was a game in Edinburgh, and the guy who rented us our Airbnb was like, make sure you're off the streets by like 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like it's gonna get bad, especially if they win. It'll get bad out there. And sure enough, I came in and because I stayed out a little bit later that night, by like 9:30, like the streets were just filling, like there was just like a really sketchy fucking vibe. Like some shit was gonna go down. But it was, I mean, I would let, like if I had been traveling by myself, I totally would have gone and just enjoyed it, just because that sort of thing is it's really cool, like getting to go see professional sports. It's really cool. You may not like sports at all, but I guarantee if you go to the stadiums and go actually hang out, it's more about the experience than it is the actual game. So
and that's the thing, is it is more about the experience, because for things like that, unless you go, you're not gonna know. And for me, one of my favorite ones, I love football, probably more than any other sport. Well, football and MMA.
Go Niners.
Those two are fucking hands down my favorite. But for football, I've been to probably about 10 different stadiums now to watch pro football games at. I've been to San Diego. I've been to Los
Oh,
Angeles.
San Diego. So, well, San Diego is old, but man, that place was nice.
Yeah. Been to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. I've been to St. Louis, Tampa Bay, East Rutherford, or where the Giants and the Jets play. And now this was the old Giants and Jets stadium, not the new one that they built since last time I've been there. But I've been
MetLife Stadium.
yeah, I've been to quite a few of them, and everyone has its own little different niche, which is really cool to see. Because going to one, fantastic, but if you get a chance to go to other venues, do it because each venue is a little bit different, and you'll see the difference in niche there between the crowd and who they're rooting for and the way that they interact with their team. It's a cool experience to have and see.
Yeah.
It goes with you don't even have to be a fan of the teams you're watching. Just go. It's a good time.
Dimlin's got it's the energy in the crowd. The stadium I want to go to now, since they put it up, is that new Atlanta stadium.
Oh,
Like that looks like supposedly there's not a bad seat in the house, no matter what. And like if you're actually interested in watching the game, stay home. Stay home because you're gonna get a better view. So that's just the long and short of it there. But like they've got really reasonable food. Supposedly there's not a bad seat in the house. I think they said it's like $4 or $5 for a hot dog and $4 or $5 for a soda, $4 or $5 for fries, which for stadium prices is nuts.
they have the cheapest food of all stadiums that there are in the States for that.
And I bet that just adds to it. Like people can actually afford to go and have a good time.
Well, the guy who owns the Falcons said, "Look, I did this way for a reason. They're already paying top dollar for tickets. They're paying for parking. They're paying for all this shit. Why are we going to rape them on everything else? Let them enjoy themselves and get in there. Fuck, there's a Chick-fil-A in that goddamn place.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think.
Granted, they're not open on Sunday, so if you're going for a football game, sorry guys, unless it's Monday night.
Yeah. Quest Field over in Seattle. Like, I'm not the biggest Seahawks fan, but man, that place was really cool. It was really cool to go hang out. I'll never root for the Sea Chickens. I'll sit on my damn hands, but it's a good time. Even going to Safeco to go see the Mariners, but I mean the Mariners haven't really been all that fantastic for a long time. So you can go get a really good seat for cheap, and you can get they're dropping their prices hard.
I mean, you mean since like Ken Griffey Jr. played for them?
It's been they had Ichiro for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
King Felix.
Oh, speaking of Ken Griffey Jr., I remember I had a pair of his shoes when I was growing up. Those things are fucking ugliest shade of teal, but Ken Griffey Jr. was the fucking man, so I had to have them.
Yep, Ken Griffey Jr. was the man.
Adam's over here shaking his head because he knows he wanted a pair of those shoes too.
No, people are sending me messages making me crack up. And yes, I am a little jealous because I did want them. Shut up. Why you gotta call me out?
Are you a Cubbies or a White Sox guy?
White Sox.
All right.
Southside.
Southside. Oh.
That takes guts to be a Sox fan, dude.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
It really does.
They're perpetually terrible since they won the World Series in 2005.
Like the big hurt, motherfuckers. Still talking about Frank Thomas.
That dude is on fucking every time I turn the commercial on. There's
the male enhancement pills, right?
Yeah, that one, and I've seen him on a couple other ones. I'm going, Jesus Christ. Hey, don't get me wrong, for his fucking age, he looks fucking fantastic. But I'm going, damn, maybe I need some of what he's selling.
Yeah, they always show those at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm like, what the hell?
Oh,
Big hurt.
They even do it earlier than that. Like, again, every time I'm watching Hulu or something, if there's a commercial between a show I'm watching live, bam, Frank Thomas is there. Huh. Nice to see you managed to keep yourself in check and still in the public eye somehow, even if it's selling shit to old folks.
Oh, we got a Cubbies fan in the house.
Meter's a Cubbies fan too. We get along.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to hate.
It's cool. I'm just, I'll say it. I'm not
Oh,
a Cubbies fan.
Lumi, are you gonna watch the Marvel movies?
I have watched the Marvel movies.
You're gonna watch them in order, though.
I'm gonna watch them again. Yes.
So it's Captain America: First Avenger.
Then Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what this site's telling me. Because it takes place.
Oh yeah, because it takes place in the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, I
So,
guess
yeah,
if you're
it's
doing
very
it chronologically.
Yeah, I've
Right.
watched them chronologically before. Now I'm going to watch them in the order that they intend them to be watched.
Then after that's gonna be Incredible Hulk.
2008.
Yeah, so it goes Iron Man, then Incredible Hulk. Then it's gonna be Iron Man 2.
No, wait, Iron Man 2, then the Incredible Hulk for some reason.
I thought Incredible Hulk came out after Iron Man and before Iron Man 2. I
did-
enjoyed that Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton's actually pretty good.
You
Yeah.
should copy and paste that into chat so everybody knows what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because I'm interested in my damn self.
Like,
This is where I'm reading one of them. I just it's pretty similar to another thing that I just Google food. So I was looking at this because it has the reasons why, but if you scroll down, it says the complete MCU timeline at a glance. Every Marvel film in the right order. And then the next one is
Thor.
every Marvel film and show in the right order.
Oh, yeah, this is cool. I dig.
Jerry, that goes without saying. That's one I didn't even think I had to mention. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that answer out of me. But yeah, that's for me. That's the mecca of all sports places.
Well, I mean, you own part
Just-
of the team, so
Yeah, I don't mean. I do have a certificate that says I am an owner, but the other part of that is the history that's in the place itself. So
So if I go MIA for a while, there's a very good chance that I'm going through the TV show and movie route because I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a while.
the first couple of seasons actually are not all that great, but then man, does it pick up.
Yeah, I enjoyed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at first, and then it died down. Then it got okay again, and then I stopped watching it somewhere along the lines of them going through like a timeline thing, and they're in space going against the blue people,
The Kree.
the Kree.
The
Yeah,
blue
that's
people.
around when I fell off of it.
oh,
I'm almost done with Angel again. After I was starting to talk about Angel a couple weeks ago, I started watching it after everything while I was relaxing for the night. So I watch like 1 or 2 episodes at night. And I'm almost done again. Season 5 just started.
Meter's wife has been watching Buffy.
Buffy, that's probably what I'll do next.
It's a great show.
Buffy was fantastic. Like I said, I'll fight anybody that
are you talking old
What?
Sarah Michelle Gellar Buffy?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a great show. My sister had to talk me into it. And I was like, I don't know. Really? Is it like the movie? She's like, no, it's better. And I'm like, okay.
Then
Yeah.
you get a couple episodes into it, and you're like, "Fuck, this is really good."
My mom watched that show religiously. when
It was
on
great,
there.
man.
My
It's
sister and my
great.
dad watched it together. That was like their bonding show.
Yeah.
Like I think my favorite episode of Buffy is that there's an episode where she gets like devolved. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and she's running around like a caveman. It's hilarious, man.
God, I haven't
But,
seen those.
yeah, like Buffy and Angel are both just absolutely fantastic shows. They're worth anybody's time to go check out.
Have you watched Cloak and Dagger?
I have watched Cloak.
That was something I saw, but I didn't know that it actually tied into the timeline.
A little bit. It's definitely doing its own thing.
Yeah, I think I watched The Runaways for a little bit, and then I fell off of that too.
The Runaway season 2 actually turned out to be really, really good. The first season was all right. The second season was really good.
Now I need to go find the ones that tie in with Legion. I couldn't get into Legion. I hated that. I was so excited that it was Professor X's son. And then I watched it and I was like, what the fuck?
That's what that series is what the fuck. It's really good though. You have to be aware of what the dude is and why all this is going on.
The new Marvel movie that had Sansa in it. I didn't watch that one, but I heard it flopped, which is really disappointing because I enjoyed that little series of.
The new X-Men movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed the series up until then. I haven't watched the new one, but I heard it was terrible.
I've heard the last couple have been terrible. I haven't watched them myself either. Because they're not really tied into Marvel yet.
Yeah, they're still off on their own little timeline. Although, well, no, because that was a Wolverine movie. Never mind. That was
One new Spider-Man that's coming out August this year. The new Spider-Man's already out, man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Far From Home. It's really, really good.
Holy shit, Toonie, you're up late, buddy.
Yeah, what are you doing up so late,
Do you
brother?
have tomorrow off or something, or what?
Hardly
Yeah.
does.
Like if you're up this late, dude, you should. Well, I was gonna say you should be on the panel, but then Mrs. Tooney's sleeping, so we gotta behave ourselves for Mrs. Tooney.
That's it.
The next thing I have to Google is the Assassin's Creed series. I watched the first movie recently within the last year. And I really enjoyed that, but I haven't heard anything about the new Assassin's Creed movie. And then Witcher's coming out.
Witcher's gonna be really good
I saw the trailer for that and I got wet.
because it's based on the book. It's based on everything that happens before the games, so it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, vacation. Even better than a day off.
Ooh,
Yeah.
sweet.
If I would have known that, I would have sent you an invite for the panel.
Oh,
However, it is getting towards that time of night where we do have to shut her down because my ass wants to get some sleep. I love you
Me
guys,
too.
but not enough to give up some sleep.
I love you guys, but I'm not giving up my bedtime.
And I don't feel like being dead tomorrow all day. That's the other problem. Let's go first as we take it around the room here.
Me and Adam usually wind up arm wrestling over it, like who's gonna go? Who's gonna go? All right. What's happening, everybody? So we do actually have some guests coming up. I don't think we have anything really planned for this Friday, except for just catching up on a little bit of advocacy news and then off to business. Saturday is mixing extravaganza, but then starting next Tuesday, we got the guests starting. So to the best of my knowledge, Robbie Vapes is going to be on Tuesday, and then I'll work with Wayne and figure out a day when it's good for him to come back on the show. So need to get Wayne back, but then we've also got Paul the Blam and some other surprise guests coming up. But I'm really looking forward to having Paul on because he's got some insider's perspective at this point. So it's always good to have Paul on. So that's what we got coming up, everybody. Go give Buffy and Angel a try. The first season of Buffy is a little bit dated at this point, but it really picks up in season 2. And the first season's super short anyway. So go check it. Go give it a try if you've never given those shows a try. I think you'll really be amazed by what Joss Whedon did. That's kind of what put him on the map. So yeah, everybody be beautiful to each other. Educate, advocate, be good for this community. We'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna give it to. I'm pointing at Al Green of South Chicago on my screen. I don't know who I'm pointing on TJ's.
Me.
Okay, well I'm pointing at Adam. I'm pointing at Adam Chapman.
Give me one reason to say something. So I dropped links in the chat for places you can find me. The most important one being join the group and your song can be picked. And you can even be lucky like Mary Beth and freaking get 2 songs within.
I know, right?
Whatever. So yeah, join the group and pick a song because it's fun. They're always fun and they keep getting weirder and weirder. And some of them are getting more interesting, like not just weird, just like cool. Like, wow, I never thought about singing that song. Like, I would have never thought of singing Tracy Chapman. Love that song, but so, join the group. Just do it.
I was hoping I was going to win so that I could call it Granny Shite.
There was a couple in there that I was like hoping would have won, but I mean, I'm kind of glad with the one that won. So
Yeah.
just keep putting them in there. If your song's not getting picked, keep putting it in there. The odds, they have to work in your favor eventually. But other than that, if you are anywhere near the Chicagoland area, you should come out to see Eddie and the Arsons this Saturday, August 3rd at the Gallery Cabaret in Chicago.
Oh, you're playing the gallery?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So come and see us. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for having me, TJ. Go Lumi.
Hi, I'm Lumi. Can we just skip over my part yet?
Nope.
You could find me in these places. Here is a link to my Twitch TV linky thingy where I stream Vigi games and other shenanigans sometimes. It is also the end of the month, so if you are a subscriber and you could resubscribe, it's much appreciated. It goes towards my next flavor stash. Discord is where I post all the fancy things and hang out occasionally. Instagram is where I post more fun things. And everybody, thanks for coming out and thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having me. Pissy desk.
Oh, you go.
Boing.
Pating. First and foremost, thank you everybody for coming out. Doc, you're a little late to the party, but sure, the Ballad of the Whisker Biscuit sounds fucking fantastic. I'm glad to see the meter made it back. I thought maybe he fell asleep with his Ambien like dogs, because apparently that's the new saying when he falls out of the show.
You got dogs, you understand.
I have a kid that's worse than any fucking animal I could possibly have.
It's our animals.
Yep.
They are fucking nightmare. They're the kind that no matter how hard you train them, they still do the fucking wrong thing.
Savages.
Crafty little bastards.
Yeah. I'm not going to go over everything I said here at the beginning of the show. Just remember, be honest with everybody. Do the right thing. Educate, advocate. Not for anybody here, not for you cocksuckers out there, but for those motherfuckers that are coming behind us who have not made the switch yet. Other than that, you guys know the drill. Have a fantastic week. We will definitely see you next week, Wednesday. And for those of you who are inundated into MMA or even a casual fan, please, yes, come hang out with us. Because I like the idea that we had last week with the casual corner, because I think I might have a new casual fan that I'm going to try to bring on there. It's going to be my 16-year-old nephew.
Oh,
Oh, come on. I'm going to get schooled by a 16-year-old. Please tell me I get to be...
Oh, no. You're not going to get schooled by him. Believe me. I had him over watching the fights this weekend with me, and it was... Oh, my God. I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. I just want to watch in peace.
Since you have a casual, does that mean I'm off the hook?
No, because I don't have a casual for this week. I told him I would run it by some things and see what we thought, but I have a feeling I'm going to be able to get him on at least, even if it's via phone or something like that. But, yeah.
we have the technology. We can figure it out.
That's right. Filthy casual. That's right, Addie Tooney. That's right.
I'm going to have to go wash that shirt so I can wear it again tomorrow.
I'll see you guys next week. If not, I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. But other than that, I'm going to send it over to the one, the only, the Meter Vapes, who is finally back from his doggy nap. Allegedly.
So it's just dogs are crackheads sometimes. If you've got a dog, you understand. If you got a big dog, then you absolutely understand. Dogs can absolutely be crackheads. But most importantly, thank you, TJ, for having a show every Wednesday where weirdos like myself and my fellow panel members here can come and defunk the brain to a bunch of weirdos that come and watch us every week. And thank you to the weirdos that come and watch us every week, because you guys are the reason that we get to be here every week and defunk. We appreciate each and every one of you that tune in. Not a lot really that I can say that hasn't been said at some point in time in this show. I absolutely love that TJ stuck with the honesty portion for this week's theme, because we have to be honest. There is more than enough people out there slinging bullshit that all we have to do at this point is just be honest and be consistent and be poignant. You don't always have to be aggressive. You don't always have to be the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes being the softest voice in the room, saying the facts, will get much more of your point across than being the asshole trying to out-scream your opposition. So all you have to do is just be honest. And to the best of my knowledge, any of you MMA fans who are going to be around tomorrow night, we've got a pretty interesting show lineup brewing up for the casual and non-casual MMA fans. So tune into the I'm No Joe show tomorrow night if that's something you're interested in. But there's really not a lot that needs to be said other than we say it all the time, and we'll continue saying it. You don't have to do everything, but you have to do something. Support those who support others. Take your ass over to vapingswag.com and get some gear to help support this community, because if we don't band together, we will be banned together.
Yes. And thank you, Addy Tooney, for all those links again here at the end of the show. If you don't know where to advocate, there's your fucking list. Start clicking away. On that note, for anybody who showed up late, we are going to give a replay there of this week's song, so that way everybody gets a chance to catch it for those of you that are still here. All that, we'll see you guys on the next show. Love y'all. Have a great night.
Bye.
Masturbate.
Not a little walk.
Every night.
Give me one reason to stay here, then I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here, then I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. Baby, I've got your number, and I know that you got mine. You know that I called you. I called too many times. You got to call me, baby. You can call me anytime. You got to call me. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here. Oh.